You are now watching Fourth and Inches.
I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to them boys that sat on them benches, boy. I was in the game on 4 inches. Go put me in the game on 4 inches. Put me in the game on 4 inches. Go put me in the game on 4 inches. And I'ma lead them boys at the line of scrimmage.
All right, y'all, welcome back, man. Fourth and Inches. It's your boy Nick. Got my partner Dreek with me.
Oh
Dreek,
yeah,
you
oh yeah. I'm with you, my boy. I'm with you.
now see, if I would have said your whole name, you'd have been on point. You know what I'm saying? I done called you Dreek, now you done messed it up. Look at you, man.
Yeah, see, you threw me off when you said Drew. I wasn't expecting that.
All right, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna try to take too long. We're gonna try to go and get it in and out. First and foremost, before we start on these weekend games, we got to, give our final recap on that Florida State LSU, man. I'm gonna let you go first.
Man, all right. So coming into that game, man, I usually don't watch other team whole games. I watch pieces of it, but I that was really the only game on. So I watched that game from start to finish. And at first, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna lie. I thought, LSU, they coming in, they got a revenge factor because the way they lost last year was a close game. They lost, but it was a good one. So I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna come in, it's gonna be a good game, and then in the end, LSU gonna kind of make a play or two when it matters the most and pull the win out. But Florida State had different plans, man. I did not see that game going the way it went. The first half, yeah, I figured that's how to be the first half. But that second half, I didn't see that game going like that. For one, I ain't gonna lie. I slept on Florida State. I ain't think they was that good. I ain't saying they the best team that I ever seen, but they look a whole lot different than what they looked 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Facts.
But
For
yeah,
me,
that's
man, going excuse me, going into the game, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It was hard for me to really pick the game. I felt like Florida State had the advantage with their receivers against LSU secondary though, because LSU basically had to rebuild their whole secondary, and not only that, but Florida State receivers, in my personal opinion, and we'll see how it play out throughout the season, but I feel like their receivers gonna have an advantage over whoever secondary they play against, Georgia and Alabama included, simply because bro, they got like four receivers that's 6'3" and taller, and they can really play though. Like they ain't just tall for no reason. Like they can really play.
yeah.
Like Johnny Wilson is 6'7", 230, 235, I think. Like, but he like Darnell Washington size with Brock Bowers type ability, and he playing receiver. You know what I mean? Like that's like how do you guard
That
it?
was number 4 or number 14. Because them really the two who was killing them. I mean, the rest of them might have had a couple of passes, but for the most part, it was number 14 and number 4 who was killing them.
He number 14, I think. Either 14 or 17. I can't remember now.
Okay,
But
probably 14.
the super tall one. Number 4 is Keon Cole. I think Keon Coleman. He transferred from Michigan State.
Yeah.
Man, listen.
And I know Michigan State mad because they sure enough lost a good
What?
one to him. I can't even lie.
He was their best player last year. They just didn't have a great team, and the quarterback wasn't the best, and he couldn't get him the ball. So I don't care how good you is at receiver, if the quarterback can't get you the ball, it don't matter.
Yeah, we found that out with Calvin Ridley when he had Jalen Hurts as his quarterback.
The
Cause had
disrespect.
really had Tua to get him that ball, he would have been straight.
I disagree. Y'all
It's,
y'all changed the offense after that anyway. So
no, I mean he played that year that we second and 26. I know you'll never forget it. Uh, he played with Tua that year. You know what I'm saying? When he had Jerry Judy and Henry Ruggs and all them boys, and he was able to shine a little bit more.
yeah, but he was able to shine the next. Well, the receivers were able to shine the next season because they changed the offense completely and went to basically a three wide out. We're gonna throw the ball 70% of the time offense anyway.
Yeah, and we went to that because of what? We had a quarterback who could do that. Jalen couldn't throw that ball like that when he was at Alabama. Now he went to Oklahoma, and against them defenses, he was able to sling the ball a little better, but he couldn't do that at Alabama for
I
whatever
disagree.
reason.
I disagree. I feel like Jalen had the talent the whole time. Y'all didn't have an offensive system that was conducive to his talents, which is on the
Man,
offensive coordinator. That's all I'm
listen.
saying.
It ain't about the scheme. It's about him throwing the ball down the field and overthrowing receivers or underthrowing receivers, which is what he was doing. It ain't. I'm saying when I say not about the scheme, I'm saying it ain't that they weren't calling the plays. It's the fact that when they called the plays, he was overthrowing the receivers or underthrowing them. He was missing them. That's what I'm saying.
Hey
And
man,
I'm not saying that from a few highlights that I seen. I'm an Alabama fan, bro. Trust me, I watched him. He wasn't to him.
hold up now. Listen. See, first of all,
I'm
first
not
and foremost,
I'm not trying to say Jalen Hurts trash. Now don't get me misunderstood. I ain't saying he trash.
See, this what we not gonna do, right? You're not finna sit on here and talk crazy about my quarterback, okay? You're not finna do that. I'm not gonna let you do that.
Your quarterback was
No,
Grayson Lambert.
no. My quarterback is Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Bulldogs. But anyway, that's
Philadelphia
totally off
Bulldog.
topic though. That's totally off topic, like for real, for real. Uh, what was we at? Yeah, Florida State and LSU. So I felt like Florida State had that advantage though. Their receivers against LSU DBs. What I didn't account for was for Florida State to basically treat LSU the way SEC teams treat everybody else, wear them down, and then bully them in the fourth quarter. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
And that,
that's exactly what happened.
man, that fourth quarter, Florida State was just whooping them in the trenches. Just basically most of the second half, LSU was getting manhandled at the line of scrimmage, and I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either. Know what I'm saying? Then they had all this hype around LSU about Brian Kelly's second year and how much he exceeded expectations in his first year, and LSU should be improved. They got their quarterback coming back this year, and he should be even better than what he was. You know what I'm saying? They hype LSU up. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, LSU, they might be talking about something this year, but I ain't gonna say they're not talking about nothing this year, but they weren't talking about nothing that game. Now they still got plenty of time to get it right because they next few teams they play it's some smaller schools. But I didn't see that. I ain't see that coming. Even with Florida State winning, it ain't surprised me that they won, but it did surprise me how they won and how convincingly they won. I'm thinking, it might be a one possession game, but nah, these boys put hands, foot, knees, and elbows in LSU.
I got a hot take too. Garrett Nussmeier, who is right now the backup quarterback at LSU, he gonna end up starting for the end of the season.
You think so?
Watch what I tell you. It's a hot take. You know what I'm saying? So it might not play out that way. But if you ask me, he the better quarterback for what they trying to do with their offense. Because nothing against Jaden Daniels, because he a good player. He's way more athletic. Like he can make plays that Garrett Nussmeier can't make. But the difference is Garrett Nussmeier, he gonna play on time. You know what I mean? So he gonna drop back and he 1, 2, 3, and the ball is out of there. He gonna go through that progression. If it ain't there, he gonna throw it away, or he gonna try to take it and get 4, 5 yards or whatever. Where Jaden Daniels, his problem is he'll hold on to the ball too long, trying to make a spectacular play when you don't have to all the time. You know what I mean? Like he don't play on time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like sometimes the defense just win, man. It's okay to throw the ball away and punt. It's okay. But see, he refuses to accept that. And sometimes you have to.
Yeah, that's the problem we had last year too. Not with Bryce, but with Miro. He was holding on to the ball too long. He let the pocket goddamn gonna collapse, and he's still in the pocket trying to find a receiver. I feel like he was trying to make something out of nothing, and that's where a lot of quarterbacks go wrong at. And
Fact.
then with another thing with LSU quarterback, Florida State defensive line, they was getting pressure on him, so he was kind of panicking a little bit. I ain't gonna say he was panicking, but he was trying to help him get rid of the ball. That's how he ended up missing Buddy that was wide open. He had that pressure right in his face. He just threw it out there. Buddy was wide open, man.
I mean, Jared Verse might be the best defensive player in the country.
Who that?
Jared Verse, the defensive end
Oh,
from Florida State.
yeah.
Like, excuse me. I'm gonna say something and you gonna think I'm crazy, but if you think about it, you gonna know I'm right.
What?
He better than Will Anderson at defensive end because he got the size that Will Anderson don't have in the run game. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna just run at him and I can do this, I can do that." No, mm. He too big. You can't really move him like that, and he got the speed to be a great pass rusher. Like he's a more complete defensive
And
end.
what is what year?
I think he's a junior. I'm not for sure because he
Okay.
transferred to Florida State from a real small school up in Albany, New York.
Okay. Because I ain't never heard his name before. So for you to compare him to Will Anderson, and I ain't never heard his name before until you just said something. He's a junior. That kind of counters your argument about him being better.
No, it don't.
Uh,
No, it don't. It just means Will Anderson was better earlier. Like this dude was a late bloomer. Like he was a zero star coming out of high
I
school.
mean, it's easy to say he was better when Will ain't in college no more. Yeah, you can say that now. Cause
I mean, it's just my personal opinion, but if I'm playing deep, if I need a defensive
I
end,
mean, it don't surprise me coming from you, cause you got that, you got a
whoa,
little
wait a
Alabama
minute,
bias.
wait a minute, hold on now, we ain't gonna do that. We not
You
gonna
got a
do
little
that.
Alabama, you got a
I'm
little
a Will
Alabama
Anderson
bias.
fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I love watching that man play. That man play hard. He is a monster. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I ain't gonna let you do me like that. I'm not an
You do
Alabama
got a
fan at
little.
all. I'm not an Alabama fan at all.
I
I
know
love
you hate
watching
us.
Will Anderson play. Will Anderson is amazing. Dallas Turner is
I
no
know.
Will Anderson.
No, of course not. But he ain't no slouch himself now.
He's no Will Anderson. It ain't even close. And y'all were
How
trying to
many
say
people
he was
is?
just as good. Like you breaking
Nah, I
down.
don't- if
You breaking
anybody
down.
said he was just as good, they lying now. Cause he ain't just as good, but he ain't no slouch either. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Alabama fans were trying to tell me he was just as good as Will Anderson. I'm like, y'all high. I don't know what y'all high on, but y'all was high on something.
Nah, I ain't gonna say he's just as good. All I'm saying is he ain't no slouch. You know what I'm saying? You better account for him. You
Okay.
better do that.
So you know that I pretty much put Nolan Smith and Will Anderson on basically the same level, right? You know that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that this dude at Florida State is better than both of them, and you know how highly I think of both of them. If we talk about just a pure defensive end, like that is a pure
I'm
defensive
I'm
end.
I'm gonna go back and watch Florida State LSU highlights, and I'm gonna pay attention to just him. I ain't gonna worry about the rest of the
Hmm.
plays going. I'm gonna watch just him and see if he what you say he is.
Forget the
But let's
highlights.
go ahead on to the
Watch
next
the
game,
whole
man.
game. Yeah, forget the highlights. Watch the whole game and just
I
watch how he
did.
dominate the game, even on the plays he don't make. Even
I
on the
watched the game,
plays he
but I
don't make
didn't
the
pay
tackle, he
attention.
make the play. But it's just as a defensive lineman, bro, it's just certain stuff I notice and I look for. I'm telling you, he got it. But
I
anyway,
can believe.
but moving on though, let's go and get into this weekend games. Let's start it off. We got Oregon at Texas Tech. I circle this game because it's kind of interesting. You don't usually see Pac-12 teams playing a lot of these Big 12 teams up until here recently. So, got Bo Nix on the road and his 17,000 career start against the Texas Tech team that, their defense has basically been their bread and butter the last few years. So the game really, supposedly on paper, could go either way. Me personally, I think Oregon gonna beat them folks by like 2 touchdowns. I don't think
Yeah,
Texas Tech offense gonna hold up.
I think Oregon gonna beat them folks too.
See,
I
short and
think
sweet.
Oregon.
Man, the thing about week 2
Then
is, man,
Texas Tech just lose.
yeah, man, yeah, they coming off a good old L.
Yeah, and it was to a smaller school. I want to say.
I believe so. I can't think of it right at the top of my head though, but yeah, it was a smaller school. So
Yeah, so I don't even know why you think that's gonna be a good game.
it's not necessarily gonna be a good game, but it was one of the games that just interested me because it's Oregon at Texas Tech. I had that game circled before the season started.
I mean, I can see why you would find it interesting, but I think Oregon finna walk the dog on them boys.
If they don't, it's gonna be Bo Nix's fault.
How?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like blaming Bo Nix.
Bo Nix play offense, quarterback at that. If people around him don't do their job, you can't blame him.
I mean, listen, when Bo Nix was
But the
at
boy
Auburn,
just put up 80 something points on whoever they played.
yeah, that was Portland State.
Yeah.
But
But 80
people don't
points is a lot of points. I don't care who you put it up on. That's a lot of points.
think that's
Football,
facts. That's facts. But bro, when Bo Nix was at Auburn, he was always Georgia's MVP of the game, man. He's the most valuable player. We couldn't have did it without him.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but he ain't facing that kind of defense right now.
Facts. All right,
So,
moving on, man. Texas A&M at Miami. Texas A&M looked good last week. Of course, it was against nobody. No disrespect to New Mexico, but it's New Mexico. Miami, they did what they were supposed to do against Miami of Ohio. Miami lost this game last year, out there at College Station. So they got the revenge factor going. They at home. They looking to make a statement against the Texas A&M team that people think, got a chance to really challenge Alabama and LSU for the West. What you think about the game?
to be honest, I ain't watched too much of Miami. Um, I wouldn't be willing to bet on them. I know they lost last year. It was a good game actually though. Last year it was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm feeling like they it's the same thing like it was just with Florida State and LSU. They got the revenge factor. The only difference is they're the home team this time. Um, I think we'll really get to see this time if Texas A&M made any adjustments to the offense, if they really improved on that side of the ball. The defense has always been decent, but the offense hadn't been, super spectacular. You got people who can make plays. They had a running back that was pretty good last year. Um,
Devon Achane.
but yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what their offense can get out there and do against. I ain't gonna say a quality opponent, but a lot better than what they just played.
I call Miami a quality opponent. I ain't saying they top 10 in that, but I feel like they at the end of the season we be looking at them as a top 25 team though. Just as of right now, I could be wrong, but as of right now, I believe that they're in the season as a top 25 team. At least they had a potential to.
Are they
But
ranked right now?
no,
I don't think
no,
so.
no, they're not ranked right now. So this the thing though. I think Texas A&M is gonna win this game. I think they're gonna win by 10 points or more. I didn't write down what the line was. I know A&M is favored. I think they favored by like 6.5. So if I was betting, I'm taking A&M and I'm taking them to cover the 6.5 because I feel like with the weapons that they have on offense and the way the offense looked last week, and again, they played nobody you. I get that, but their offense ain't never looked that good. So they tell
Yeah,
me
it's gonna be interesting to see how their offense look against a better defense.
true. But the weapons that they have, bro, I don't think Miami can match up across the board with for real. And
They,
with
they
it,
might they might can't. Like I say, the only advantage I see Miami having is home field. That's about it.
yeah, that's about how I see it too. And if A&M is gonna really make a run and try to compete in the SEC West, you can't lose games like this. Like you got to win games like this. So I'm taking A&M to win that game over Miami.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
All right, now the game that is probably getting the most hype out of all games, well, other than the other game, is Nebraska at Colorado. Coach Prime versus Matt Rule. Let's be honest. We only care about this game because Deion Sanders is the coach at Colorado. We only care about it for that one reason alone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the fact that that's part of it. The other part is that they went in and they upset TCU. So now
Facts.
everybody really watching them like, okay, is they really for real? You know what I'm saying? They can they go on a little run? So that the fact that the expectations for them was low and they exceeded that, you got everybody's attention. So now you got Nebraska coming in, and to be honest, I honestly I can't say if either team lose, it'll be a upset. I don't feel like
Mm.
because Nebraska they lost to Georgia Southern last year. You know what I'm saying? They hadn't really been talking about that in the past few years either. So I can't really I won't really consider it a upset. But I guess if you're looking at it from a standpoint of they lose to a team that lost, I mean they only won one game last year, maybe, but that's not even the same team.
So
They
this
got
the thing. Nebraska was favored before last week. Now Colorado is favored by 3.
yeah, I seen that. Oh, so Nebraska was favored before.
Yeah, but see, Colorado being favored by 3 basically is saying that they're even teams because Colorado at home, and like home field advantage is worth at least 3 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you everything that you can say about Colorado as far as they were so sorry last year, but it's a completely different roster. You can say the exact same things about Nebraska. They got a first year head coach. He brought in a lot of transfers, and this is a totally different team. So it's like,
So it
excuse
might
me.
be a little better than I'm anticipating.
I
I
mean, you
mean,
never know. You never know. It's just like Colorado. Everybody was guessing, oh, they're gonna be this, they're gonna be that. Like I told you, I didn't think highly of Colorado. I didn't think they were gonna beat TCU. At the same time, I didn't realize how many players TCU lost off last year's team either. Like they lost.
yeah, you didn't realize how many they
Whew.
lost and how many Colorado gained.
Now I knew how many Colorado game. I just figured it was gonna take them time to get on the
To
same
mesh
page. And it
together.
and it is though, cause their defense is terrible. I'm sorry. That defense
Yeah,
is
it is.
terrible.
It is.
Uh
But you gotta think about it like this too. Their defense is terrible, but Nebraska ain't just no high powered offense.
exactly. Exactly. So it's like,
So yeah. I
can
mean it
Nebraska
really
take
can go either
advantage?
way.
Like to me, the question is, can Nebraska take advantage of the weaknesses Colorado have on defense, especially up front and defensive line? And is Shador Sanders really that good? You know what I mean? Because he been put up 500 yards last week. Nah, he was throwing to people that were wide open most of the time, but he
Yeah.
still was making them throws. Like he made a couple throws that was like, whew, oh yeah, that boy the truth. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you.
That and I'm also interested in seeing if they gonna try to play Hunter both ways, all those snaps again.
That's a good one. Cause I mean, don't get me wrong, and I ain't saying he can't do it, but boy, that's a lot to ask somebody to do for a full season.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I
And
don't.
all that really do is put him more in the line of fire getting hurt because you not only playing off, you playing both ways. So that's you just doubled your chances of getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Most people you play one way, you might get on special teams. It's a risk on special teams, but you playing both ways, and then you playing both ways, dang near 50% of the snaps on both sides of the ball.
Over 50%. He played like 60 something plays in the first half alone last week.
Yeah, yeah. So that's asking a lot of one person, man. That's I don't know.
So
I would hope they don't use him like that on both sides, but I guess they felt like maybe they needed to because they might have felt a little threatened by TCU receivers or something. They thought TCU might can sling the ball around a little bit, so they wanted him on that side. But they also needed his production on offense too. But with Nebraska, I can't even name one Nebraska player. I ain't saying they ain't got nobody that's good, but they might not need they might not need him to play as much on both sides. You know what I'm saying? If I was them, I'll figure out what side he is most beneficial to the team on for that game and manage it like that. That's how I do the rest of the season. Okay, we probably need you more on defense to help cover some of their receivers. You know what I'm saying? Come down and help with the run. You know what I'm saying? I'll play it like that.
yo, you know
Because
what's funny
they got
though?
3 other receivers on that team that had over 100 yards receiving. So
Facts.
you don't got a Darren Need at receiver for him.
Check this out though. You said something, bro, that made me laugh. You said you couldn't name one player on Nebraska's team.
I can't.
And I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I got to know somebody on that team. I know 2 players on Nebraska's team, Jacob Hood and MJ Sherman. And the only reason I know them is because they transferred from Georgia.
Hey. So
That's
had it not
crazy,
been for
bro.
them playing at Georgia, you wouldn't even know nobody on the team.
Facts. Like Eric Gilbert, but again, transferred from Georgia.
You ain't got to worry about Reed, and then he just get locked up.
I mean, he wasn't cleared to play no way.
Oh,
But you know
well, it's over now. He won't be playing again. So
yeah, man, it's really sad. Before we get off this topic though, um, so with Travis Hunter playing, both ways, everybody comparing him to other players that's done played both ways in college. I'm seeing people saying that he's more talented than Champ Bailey. The irony of that is, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, but from what I've researched, I couldn't find nobody else that did this. Champ Bailey was the last person that played like 100-some snaps playing DB and receiver in a game. He did it in the bowl game against Virginia. Just want to throw that out though. But
yeah, I mean, you know, people gonna make their comparisons, man. Hey, that it ain't nothing you can do about that. All that is 100% opinionated, cause he not playing back in them times with Champ Bailey with the players that he was playing against, and Champ Bailey ain't playing against these guys that Hunter doing it against. So that's
that's a
one of
fact.
those LeBron James or Michael Jordan type thing. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the difference though. The difference is when you say talented, and I asked a couple people what they mean by talent, and they were like, "Oh, he's just a better athlete."
Deion Sanders played both ways.
Not like that. He played a little bit of offense, but not like what these two him talking about.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't like even Charles Whitson, who played a little bit of receiver. Like Charles Whitson played both ways the same way Champ did. Like they playing defense the whole game, and then we put them in on offense for 10, 20 plays a game at the most. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's certain games though where we're gonna need you to play 30, 40 snaps on offense and still lock down the other team best receiver.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, I ain't watched Champ back then, so I can't make no comparison on that.
This is all you need to know, man. Champ Bailey is 30 pounds heavier, or 20 to 30 pounds heavier. He ran a 4.2, where Travis Hunter run like a 4.4. The man had a 42-inch vertical.
You say you had a 42-inch vertical?
Champ Bailey had a 42-inch vertical, bro. At like 6'1", 200, running a 4.2. So,
Yeah,
so when people say, "Oh, he more talented," I'm like, more talented at what? Because Champ is bigger, stronger, faster, and jump higher. So, what is he more talented at? And there's no slight to Travis Hunter. The fact that we even having this conversation to me is a compliment to him to begin with.
a compliment to Travis.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they'll make that. I don't know why they'll say that after one game anyway, though.
And that was my whole point. It was like, rest one game, y'all already talking about he better than Champ Bailey. Is you high? Like this dude is a college football Hall of Famer, an NFL Hall of Famer, like arguably the best cornerback to ever play the game of football. Is y'all crazy?
Yeah, I mean, but like I say, you know how that go.
Yeah,
They gonna make their assumptions, but we'll see as the season goes on. If he can do that all season long, play them both ways as much as he playing all season long, and have great stats like he did all season long,
he
then
have a
okay.
much better argument.
Yeah, but
But that's all I'm saying, man. Just chill, man. Let's see how it play out first. But anyway, moving on, man. Ole Miss at Tulane. Most people gonna overlook this game. Y'all shouldn't, cause this is Tulane Super Bowl. Okay, Tulane has a chance to be this year's Cincinnati and be the Group of 5 representative in the playoff. For them to do that, though, they have to beat Ole Miss. I don't care if they beat them by 1 point. They got to beat Ole Miss and then go undefeated after that. So they gonna be up for this game, and it's at home against Ole Miss. Man, Ole Miss is going to New Orleans to play Tulane. Who does that?
yeah, Ole Miss doing it.
Yeah, man.
But
Ole Miss doing it. It's just a recruiting trip for them.
if I'm gonna be honest with you, the farthest, let's say they beat Ole Miss, they go undefeated. They're a group of 5 team. I don't see them representing group of 5 in the playoffs, even if they went undefeated. The best thing they can hope for is a New Year's Six bowl, maybe. But they not the way I ain't gonna say the way Cincinnati got beat, because it ain't like we just straight up down bad at them, but we beat them. Then TCU getting against Georgia and get beat 65-7. Like, ain't nobody gonna want to see no team like Tulane playing Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State in a championship game.
I mean, I feel you on
They,
that.
they thought they wanted that last year with TCU. You know what I'm saying? They that was supposed to be in the miracle team, the the underdog. They had a great story about the underdog type stuff like that. Man, they went in there and got thrashed.
But TCU ain't a group of 5 team though, man. They represent the Big 12,
No,
man.
it's not a group of 5 team. It's not a group of 5 team. But I'm saying I'm comparing levels. You know what I'm saying? They TCU is not on the tier. It's not on the same tier with the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Ohio States. And I can't even say Michigan, because they did beat Michigan. But that was a fluke. That was a fluke
Nah,
right now.
they not on the tier with Michigan either. Like, they won that
Yeah,
game, and I ain't taking that away from them. They earned that. They went out there and they whooped them folks. But what you talking about ain't one team. It's more of your program every year, year in, year
exactly.
out. You not nah. I feel you on
Yeah.
that 100.
You know what I'm
percent
saying? So that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I don't even feel like a group of 5 team. I ain't gonna say they ain't, but it won't be this year. Maybe once they expand the college playoffs, they might let a group of 5 teams slip up in there. The best group of 5 team get in there.
They
And
automatically they guaranteed already. So
oh
when they expanded to 12, what they gonna do is they taking the 6 highest ranked highest rated or whatever they go by, the 6 highest ranked conference champions. So they give you all the Power 5 plus at least one group of 5 team. But the way the thing going now, you ain't even got a Power 5. You're gonna have a Power 4 plus 2 group of 5 teams.
well, that's the only way they gonna slip up in there, and they gonna how they gonna match it up is pretty much. I think they say the first and second ranked team is gonna get a bye, and everybody else gonna play. So whoever got the third and the fourth spot gonna end up playing the group of 5 teams, and I guess they gonna feel like if you can't beat this team that's fourth in the, you sure can't hang with 1 or 2.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause I don't forget exactly how they're gonna do it, but some teams gonna have a buy something. You know,
Yeah, the first 2 teams, the whoever ranked number 1, number 2, they gonna have buys, and the rest of them gonna it's like a playoff type tournament bracket, however they said.
okay.
But so it's 12 teams. I thought they were gonna leave it at 8. It's 12.
Yeah, it's 12.
Okay.
I mean, that's cool though. That's cool. Cause like the first round gonna be at home stadiums and everything. So
I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time, because
yeah,
it's 12 teams. If it's 12 teams, we already know Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, maybe USC, Penn State. For the most part, them you gonna always see them 6 teams in the mix.
pretty much. You
Every
can
now
pretty
and
much
then you might get a Tennessee, LSU,
LSU, Auburn,
Auburn,
Florida,
Texas A&M, maybe.
might
You know
get
what
a
I'm saying?
Kentucky
You might
one
get
year,
one of them in the Florida State type. You know what I'm saying?
Penn
You might
State.
get them in there. Yeah, but for the most part, it's gonna be who would always be around the top: Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama, teams like that. They gonna stay in there.
Facts.
So then, yeah.
Now, all right, man. Before we let this episode become a whole hour thing, right now, let's go and get to the last game of the day, man. You know what it is, man. Prime time.
Oh yeah, most important.
University of Texas on the road, Bryant Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You got Texas versus Alabama, man. I'm gonna let you go first and do your thing, man. It's your squad.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's gonna be a good game, just like last year. But I'm finna say something. and you might think I sound crazy. You're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know about that. But you just got to think about it, and you'll see where I'm coming from. All right, I feel like this is a revenge game for both teams. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I say it's a revenge game for Alabama is because the way we won last year, we barely won. Nobody seen that game coming out like that. I didn't even see the game being played out like that where we barely win. I thought it would be a good game and maybe we'll pull away at the end by a touchdown or two. But nobody seen us going in there, getting all them penalties like that, and it coming down to basically the last possession. You know what I'm saying? Had them boys had a little more time, they might come back down the field and put up a score back on us. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's like I won't really say a revenge, but more like a redemption game. Like you got to redeem yourself from that. But I feel like Texas is gonna come in feeling like, okay, they barely beat us last year, so they gonna come in there feeling confident, like, shoot, we could probably beat them this year because last year they barely got us. Uh, but they came to our house and beat us. So now we want to come to their house and beat them. We're trying to put the NCAA on notice that Texas is back. And I think it's gonna be a slugfest. But
So
ultimately, I do feel like we win at home. I'm not saying we're gonna beat them the way Florida State did LSU, but I don't think it's gonna come down to the last possession and we kick a field goal and win by 1 point either.
so my only thing going into this game is honestly, I don't really know. I don't know what to expect from Alabama's offense still. Like I seen y'all play one game and yeah, Jalen Milroe looked good in that one game, but again, that was Middle Tennessee State. So I feel like
I mean, he played better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like actually like watching him distribute the ball. You know what I'm saying? He was more accurate. That's what I'm saying from an
yeah,
accurate standpoint. He was more accurate this year than he was last year. Last year he was about like Jalen Hurts, overthrowing them boys, underthrowing them. You know what I'm saying?
hey man,
I
I
feel
told
like
you, we not aligned. No Jalen Hurts disrespect. Okay,
no, I'm just saying the early Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? Not the Eagles Jalen Hurts. We didn't have that version of him at Alabama.
hey man,
I'm talking about the Alabama version.
Jalen Hurts had to come in as a true freshman and rescue the game for y'all because y'all quarterback couldn't play. Okay, you gonna stop the disrespect.
Yeah, and then
Anyway,
Tua had to come in as a true freshman and win the championship game because Jalen Hurts. All right, anyways, uh, but yeah,
the
I
total
feel
different
like
offense.
it's gonna be a good game, man. I'm excited. I'm ready to watch because I want to see what we really gonna be made of. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we won last week, but I can't brag on that because we didn't play nobody. But this year here, I mean this week here, this Saturday gonna tell it all. I ain't gonna say it's gonna tell it all, but it's gonna give us a true look at what Alabama looking like this year for real.
Facts.
And I'm glad we getting the test early, so that way later in the season we done been playing all these cupcake games, and then we finally get somebody who testing us, and it's like you gonna stand tall or you gonna fold. You know what I'm saying? We done been battle tested. So that way later in the season, like I say, we done been battle tested. Whereas you got some teams who hadn't been battle tested, they get in there and they get in the dog fight. You don't know what to expect.
I feel you on that. So for me, this gonna be my upset pick, man. I'm taking Texas to win the game. And here's why. I believe, and hey, I could be proven wrong on Saturday. This just is what I believe standing in this moment. That if Texas can protect Quinn Ewers and give him time, Texas receivers will expose Alabama's defensive secondary. But y'all shouldn't feel bad though, because in my opinion, they probably got the best receiving core in America. It's either them or Ohio State. But Xavier
I
Worthy
mean,
is real. A.D. Mitchell, real. Uh,
yeah.
them boys match
They got
up.
a tight end. They
Problem.
tight end pretty decent. I can't think his name, but they tight end pretty decent.
I couldn't either. I was trying to
But
think of it just then. And they got another receiver, Isaiah Nair. The truth. They got like 4 receivers that's probably gonna play on Sunday. Plus the tight
yeah,
end.
yeah.
So
But
if he got time, they gonna get open. They gonna beat some people out there in the routes.
I mean, but you gotta look at it like this. If you could play a team that ain't even got great receivers like that. Just reliable receivers. You know what I'm saying? A team that just if you give them a chance to make the play on the ball, they can make the play. You know what I'm saying? They're not no great receivers, but they'll do enough. They'll do their part. If you give Jalen Miro time, if he stand back there in the pocket at halftime, he can do the same thing. You feel me? Now the difference is we know Quinn Ewers is accurate. You know what I'm saying? He gonna put that ball where it need to be. We hadn't that one game against Middle Tennessee wasn't enough to say that Jalen Miro can do the same thing. But what Jalen Miro can do is make plays with his legs. If that pocket do break down,
Absolutely.
Can Quinn Ewers do the same thing? If we start generating pressure and that pocket go to breaking down, what do you think gonna happen then? Do you feel like he gonna be able to make the plays with his legs?
But see, that's my caveat. That's why I said if they line can protect. And the only reason I'm hesitant to say that they can is, yeah, Will Anderson is gone. And yeah, I don't think nobody on y'all team is Will Anderson. But they still got Dallas Turner. They still got Chris Braswell.
Right.
Oh man, it's the other guy.
Malachi Moore who can blitz with.
You know what I mean? So,
you know
so I'm not saying that Alabama can't win. I'm just saying
they also don't got Bijan this year.
Right. See what I'm saying? So Alabama can absolutely win this game. If they get pressure on Quinn Ewers, Texas ain't got no chance. But I think Texas is gonna be able to protect enough to allow them receivers to get open. Cause like I said, I don't think y'all corners can match up with their receivers just across the board. Not saying y'all corners is trash. I mean, I just feel like their receivers.
Yeah, that's a you gotta think that's a tall task for anybody to hold a player, a cornerback on a receiver through the whole play. It's gonna be hard for any cornerback to just straight up lock a receiver down like that. You know what I'm saying? If you give a quarterback enough time, eventually he's gonna pop open, even if it's just enough that you could fit the ball through a small window. You ain't gonna lock him down the whole play. It's just a matter of time. Your defense is gonna have to put some pressure on that quarterback or get to that quarterback. Otherwise, anybody gonna get opened out there. That's even Vanderbilt. If you give a quarterback time and you trying to drop back and let your cornerbacks cover their receivers through their whole routes, eventually somebody gonna pop open if their quarterback got time to find it.
100%. And they receivers, Texas got receivers that can make catches even when they cover.
Xavier Worthy, that boy gonna fly down that field. You know what I'm saying? We might have to play over the top with him. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Downs might have to help cover the top for him. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like what they gonna do is Steve Sarkisian, that man, he know he doing that offense. I feel like they're gonna try to scheme a way to keep us from trying to blitz the whole game. They gonna try to make us back up, and then they're gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, mix it up. So when we ain't trying to hurry up and get back there, then that's when they're gonna try to run the ball a little bit. Then when they run a few plays and they see we trying to lock back in on stopping the run, that's when they ain't gonna go back to trying to slang it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because Sarkisian, you gotta think we had him. I know how he was scheming Devontae Smith open, and it was working. And now he got another player about like that with Xavier Worthy. So
go ahead and get ready to see that double twin stack like what Tennessee was doing. You gonna get this out of it. I'm gonna say that right now.
It's gonna be a good game, man. It's gonna be a good game, man. I know you gonna watch it. You don't like telling me when you watch Alabama game, you be like, I seen the highlights. I seen a couple plays.
Hey man, listen.
The only reason you might not watch it is if you at work. That's the only reason.
First of all, I like watching good football. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna probably watch the Ole Miss Tulane game. I think they playing at 12. I have to check the time. As long as it's a good game, I'll watch it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Alabama or Auburn. Matter of fact, I like watching the Iron Bowl because Auburn be out there putting hands and feet on Alabama for about 3 quarters, and then they fall off. Just almost every year, man. I'm talking my hands and feet is being laid. And then
I wouldn't say almost every year because a couple years we beat them boys soundly. I'm talking about.
See, that's why I ain't say every year.
Talking about.
I said almost every year.
21 plus point. I forgot what year that was. Maybe it was 2020. We beat them boy about 50 something to 20, something like that.
It wasn't them year. I'm talking about boy got ugly quick.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I ain't gonna say every year, but
No, it ain't every year,
I mean, yeah,
but more often than not.
you guaranteed to get a good game when we play LSU. You guaranteed to get a good game when we play Auburn. At least the first half of the game, it was only that one year that I'm talking about that the game was straight up ugly from start to finish. But for the most part, yeah, they gonna play us pretty good.
But anyway, man, let's go and wrap this thing on up. You feel me?
Yeah. So you say you willing to put money on Texas? What you say?
Did you hear me say that? Did you hear me say that?
I remember last time when we did it last week, we was talking. I would say when I pick a team, I'm talking about picking a team that I'll actually be willing to put money on, and not just saying I'm picking this team. So I'm saying if you still just picking a team,
No, I'm just picking. I just picked him in the upset. Just to be honest with you, I just did it because you're an Alabama fan. I'm gonna be real. Now,
okay. So see, that's the Alabama bias. You know what I'm saying?
on the real,
That's the Alabama
so
bias.
for real, I wouldn't
I
even
feel
pick
you
the
though.
game.
You know,
Like I wouldn't even pick if I had to just say. If I had to say which team will win, I wouldn't even pick the game, bro. Like straight up, because it's too close for me. It's too many questions that I don't have answers to.
man, listen. Like I was gonna say, unlike you, I ain't gotta deny it. You know what I'm saying? I let it be known. I'm a Georgia hater. I didn't used to be, but now I am. So now any team y'all play that got a slight chance of beating y'all, oh yeah, I'm going for them 100%.
All right, cool, man. You take Ball State then.
I said any team that got a slight chance to beat y'all. By that I mean a quality team.
Anyway,
A top 10, top 15. Not no top 25, no top 20. It got to be a top 10, top 15 team.
anyway,
Yeah.
let's wrap this thing on up, man. For my phone, die.
Yeah, mine vibrating too, man.
All right, man. Y'all be easy, man. Till next time.
Yeah, man. Roll Tide.
Go Dogs.
I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him. I don't talk to them boys that sat on them benches, boy. I was in the game on 4 inches. Go put me in the game on 4 inches. Put me in the game on 4 inches. Go put me in the game on 4 inches. And I